Today I'll show you how finance teams configure accounting rules in Fineapps without writing code. By the end of the video, you'll understand how accounting rules are structured, how to add or amend configuration, and how Fineapps ensures that every change is governed before it reaches production. Every journal generated by Fineapps is driven by configuration. Accounting rules determine which posting components are used, how they relate to one another, and ultimately which general ledger accounts are selected. Now, because these rules are configuration driven, finance can evolve the accounting models as new products, as new regulations, and as business requirements change without having to change the underlying application code. Now, before we go into configuration and maintenance, let's start with a quick recap of the navigator. Everything begins with a business event, which is then linked to one or multiple posting components. These posting components then resolve to account lookups, which evaluate, in this case, in this configuration, business dimensions such as department, company, and product before selecting the final general ledger accounts. Now, the navigator isn't just a visual representation of the accounting engine, it's also where finance teams maintain the accounting model. Now, to make changes, we simply enter edit mode. Now, existing accounts or existing accounting rules rather can be amended directly. We can also create new accounting rules if we choose to. So whether we're introducing a new accounting treatment, whether we are, for example, supporting a new legal entity, or we're changing certain account mappings, all of these updates are made through configuration rather than through code. That means that every change is made within the same framework that we saw earlier, preserving that consistency across the accounting model. Now, let's say we want to add a new accounting rule. We simply click the plus button, which allows us to add a new event and description. Similarly, we'd like to create a new posting component where we create a type and description. We select a journal type and link that to an existing accounting base. Linking the business event to the posting component is as simple as selecting the new posting component, which creates the initial linkage. From there on out, we set the posting pattern, at which point we need to define a couple of parameters, including transaction currency, including amount, including posting date, and we continue the story with linkages to the existing or new posting codes. Now, apart from creating new posting components, we can also link new events to existing posting components. So rather than building the accounting logic from scratch, we can link the new event to an existing posting component that already has been configured. Now, that is one of the biggest advantages of the Fineapps model because posting components are reusable building blocks so that the same accounting logic can support multiple business events without having to duplicate logic. Now, the same principle applies later down the model, right? Existing account lookups and account mappings can also be reused, making that configuration simpler, more consistent, and easier to maintain over time. Once our configuration has been complete, we can submit the changes. Now, before anything becomes active, organizations can apply governance control, such as maker checker approval, or principal or multi-stage authorization workflows. Now, that's to ensure that every accounting change is obviously reviewed and approved before it can affect production journals. And this ultimately gives finance complete control over who can create, who can review, and who can approve accounting changes. Every configuration change is also controlled and fully auditable. Using the Show History button, finance can see what changed, when it changed, and who made the updates. We can also export the documentation for either documentation purposes or migration, and we can import the configuration into another environment to support controlled deployments across development, unit testing, and production. So in just a few minutes, we've seen how finance can maintain the accounting model without writing the code, right? We can add new business events, we can edit or add posting components, we can reuse account lookups, and all of these changes are governed through approval workflows, and every configuration is version controlled and fully traceable. Ultimately, this gives finance the flexibility to evolve the accounting as the business changes while maintaining a strong governance, consistency, and auditability throughout. Thank you.